Hi, this is Priyanka Shmugraji, and I'm going to talk about the effect of GDPR on the risk management systems adopted by the organizations and its impact on the business. And I'm going to focus on the financial sectors. Now, GDPR. GDPR is the General Data Protection Regulation, which has been created by the European Union to unify and strengthen mostly the data protection and the data privacy for the individuals within the European Union. So this GDPR is actually a modern version of the Data Protection Act, which was released in 1988. The Data Protection Act in 1988 fairly didn't have too much effect on the social media because Google, the likes of Google and Facebook were created within like in the past 10-15 years, hardly 20 years at the most. So uh, the the social media sites are mostly uh, not bound or regulated by the laws of the DPA. Now there are different laws for different countries in the EU. Like say for example, uh, there is a different Data Protection Act of Portugal, and there is a different Data Protection Act in Ireland. Like example, the CCTV footage in Portugal is only restricted to the law, so only the law people are supposed to receive any sort of CCTV footage of yours. Uh, but but in Ireland the it is totally illegal. So uh, in Ireland you can actually go and find CCTV footage. And another interesting thing about the Data Protection Act in Ireland is you can actually pay €6 35 and you can remove data, and you can request to remove the data. It actually it actually belongs to the customer agreement, and there has been a case going on by against Facebook, um, one Schrems versus Facebook. It's a popular case going on in Ireland. He actually requested Facebook to delete all his data, and after a couple of years he found out that Facebook still has a lot of images and stored in the data centers. And he actually is there is a running case going ongoing case right now. So my point is this there has to be some sort of regulation combining all the countries uh, who have to abide by the set of rules and regulations inside the European Union, and that is where GDPR is coming into picture. So it is supposed to go live by 2018, or May 2018, and yep. So the research question of mine is, will GDPR actually help to solve the problems occurring under the current Data Protection Act, and will it really impact the financial sectors doing their business, uh, doing their marketing mostly through digital media and stuff like that? Yeah, I pretty much think it will have vast impact on the people, on the companies and the organizations who actually depend a lot on the social media for marketing and stuff. And the GDPR is actually more, it's giving more rights to the people than the organizations, and the entities are mostly subjected to heavy fines if they are found of violation of the rules and acts. Let's say, for example, the Bank of Scotland were fined 75,000 pounds for the for their measurement for the measures they took when their security was breached. So uh, about 100 130 130,000 customers' privacy records were breached when the data centers of Bank of Scotland was hacked, but the fact was kept totally confidential, and it didn't come it wasn't put into, since it's a bank, so they wouldn't want that to come out to the public. But yeah, they were fined since it was a violation against the law. Tesco and all were also fined because of the regulations, of the violation of the regulations. Now, the customers are actually going to have the right under GDPR to have discrete information. They can actually request for their personal information to be totally discreet, like not to be used for marketing purposes or something. Like, let's say, for example, uh, we go to Tesco and we share our email address, and the next thing in the morning we get a mail from IKEA that, would you like to have you know a brand new furniture with on half cost? And no, I wouldn't want that. I don't want that, because yeah, I'm not interested in it. So there has been promotional offers, and this stuff is totally legal in the United States, and it has been going on. It has been going on like for a long time now, but there has been no laws against these sort of promotions and marketing strategies, taken up by the banking, insurance, and the companies related to the financial sectors. So the GDPR is actually going to give a lot of power to the people over the organizations. This is my literature review. I'm in uh, General Data Protection Regulation under Koscheck and McHale, and it was JPS certainly Sushant, and the European Commission of General Data Protection by the ICO. Alright, so the methodology. My research philosophy is, uh, it is it, it, it is it is said that the GDPR is supposed to enhance the rights of the people over the entities. Now I'm gonna look into the things, like how exactly the the shift of rights from the entities to the people is going to affect the business. I'm sure it's going to be pretty huge, because they can't go around freely marketing their products anytime they want. But there will be regulations, and violation of the law, of the regulation will ultimately lead to hefty fines. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes on. And my approach is to characterize the effects of the current DPA, the current Data Protection Act, over the entities and the violation of the data privacy, and figure out the importance of the new regulation. Like, what exactly is going to be the effect of the new regulation on the companies, and how much the business is going to get affected. So this is my research strategy. I'll be taking surveys and face-to-face interviews with the managers and the information security managers of few organizations, and I'm gonna uh, have a questionnaire and an interview session, like how what are all the risk management strategies they have currently, and how they are going to implement, and what are their compliances regarding the latest regulation, right? So data will be collected from the existing compliance of the organization. So the interviews, data analysis, I'll create the graphs and the defects, like how what exactly is going to happen, what potential, what are we looking at, a downfall of the market, or less marketing, or are we going to see uh, new ways of going past the law or something like that. It's going to be interesting to see. And uh, well, pretty much no living being has been harmed in this entire investigation process of mine, and fairly ethical, yeah. Research limitation, mostly people won't be sharing confidential data with me, so how they are doing it, and it's a banking sector, so obviously they would probably confront that, no, we can't disclose how the data is protected and all. And most importantly, time. I don't have sufficient time actually to gather all the details I will be required, which I need to get. And references, mostly Mr. Rob Knightley. He is the man who has been guiding me through this entire operation, and he is the information security manager of Novartis. And not to mention Mr. Shushant Agarwal, he has been a great help. And I've got few information from the ICO's website and the Data Protection Ireland websites. Thank you.